This video is made for adult collectors because bro gets annihilated.
Good enough, nothing's really clear. Sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
This thing, it was one of the first toys I was excited about fully in Studio Series, and I pre-ordered it from Ages 3 and up and everything. Like, I went all out on this thing. I also remember the day I got it, and it was super cool at the time, and I was so happy to finally have an accurate Revenge of the Fallen Megatron after living off of the original Voyager for so long. But looking at this now, and it's a bit strange. He's very bland looking. The one shown off at New York Toy Fair was all like painted. It was a painted prototype in tank mode that showed a more metallic paint scheme, but those prototypes are never what the final is going to look like, so I never would base opinions off of that. But I really wish that it looked like that. A lot of his details get lost in that sea of unpainted gray, and you can really tell when you put Movie 1 Megatron next to him with the more metallic paint scheme because they've got the same chest piece. He's also pretty hollow in the middle if you lift the arms up, which is but it doesn't bug me that much. Where there is paint though, it does look nice. The bronze on the legs and the treads with the silvery gray looking stuff, it just looks really cool. But the upper body, it's just missing so much because the detail just gets washed away. The head sculpt is very nice though. Love the crown look Bay Megatron always has, and they even picked out his teeth, which is really nice, and the beady red eyes are so cool. They stare right into your soul. The cannon is neat. I really like the Claw of Doom thing with the folded out blade. The blade is soft, so don't poke your eyes out with it, just like the fingers, but the cannon is just cool. He even has a tiny little thumb hanging off, which is just nice. And the silver paint, damn. Where is that on the rest of the toy? The back, though, is also very accurate. The thrusters are a huge plus. I love those. And the way they've sculpted him to give him, the hunchback. The way that panel, that's one panel, just sort of accordions in a little bit, just works. He is missing a chunk out of the back because of transformation, but, that doesn't bother me that much. There is a DNA upgrade kit that gives him, a different arm, a new cannon, gap fillers for the middle that also give him the wings in the alt mode. So, there is a thing if you want to fix all that. Seeing as this guy was wave 1 or 2 of Studio Series, something like that, he was really early on. The articulation is not what we would get today, which is funny because this guy, not this specific deco, this is premium finish, but this mold came out the same time and is waist joint, ankle tilts, wrist swivels, blah, blah, blah. And this doesn't have that, sort of. So the head is on a ball joint, so we can look up about that far. You can look up quite a bit so you can get him into a flying pose. You can look down that far, but you can use the transformation joint to get it to go even further if you want. So that's pretty cool. Then left and right. That's about as much tilt as you're getting because of how the ball joint is built for the transformation. Shoulders can do a full 360. They can go in and out. Both of them can go in and out, though this one can go out a little bit further because it doesn't have the spikes. They both have bicep rotation. They both have a little bit over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. So there's that. This hand right here can open like that. This one here, you have the fold out blade, but you also have this little articulated thumb thing. So that's always cool. Nothing at the waist due to how it transforms. Hips can go forward. I've never heard a friction joint do that before. Hips can go forward that far. They can go back. They can go in and out. You have thigh rotation. Then the knees are weird. So they're chicken legged, right? That's how they're built. The knees bend here, but you can use this to your advantage to I've unpegged that, to try and get really interesting stances. So it's very awkward to get used to, but once you get used to it, you can do some really cool things with those knees. And then you have ankle tilt. Now these don't lock in, so I find myself closing them quite a bit when I'm trying to pose them around. These don't really tab in super well. They're supposed to tab into the treads, but they just sort of come out real easily. And then these it takes no effort. It takes no effort for those to just come right off. So that's unfortunate. Also, apparently, I read on the wiki that this was one of the first examples of rapid photo degradation, i.e. yellowing. I've never seen a single copy of this yellow, from my experience. Mine's not bunch of my friends, theirs isn't. I don't understand, but hey, I guess if it was a problem, it's worth pointing out. But yeah, his posing is sort of just These cannons can move too. I've seen some people fold these cannons into here to get them to fill in this gap, but you do have to like force them around a set of things, and I don't want to do that, especially considering this is going to not be mine soon. So, but you can do that. So that's the robot. Kinda boring, but still cool. Really could use a waist joint. All right, so the transformation. My phone, I just pushed my phone. The transformation is extremely interesting and unique, sort of, because this torso ends up being reused for this man, right? But his transformation is completely different from this. And then these hips get reused for Shockwave. And then also, they don't, like the parts I don't believe get reused. No, the parts don't get reused, but the concept gets reused for the new Studio Series Megatron. So like, this has been the blueprint for a couple of things, which is pretty interesting. Anyways, to start with, we're going to flip the head up all the way so he looks like he's seen a squirrel. Then we are going to take the shoulders and swing them forward. I guess you could use this transformation joint as a butterfly joint. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, then you unfold this entire assembly back here and just sort of straighten it out. And then we are going to take the legs, bring them down like so. And then I'm going to do, oh, that fell off. See, that's going to happen. That might happen quite a bit. I'm going to fold the arms in. So there is a port right there. And on this arm, there's a tab right here. See that? So why am I saying see that like you're going to be able to answer me? Anyways, you bring that in, peg it into place like so. On this side, you have a giant peg right there that's going to go into that slot. So you just orient the arm properly until everything lines up, like so. And then you just snap the top down and over. It will peg into the arms as well. Not the best peg job in the world, but it will do it. There we go. See, it's like, it's doing the do, or it's not doing the do. Why you, oh, okay, now it's in. So there you go, now you have mobile turret mode thing. Oh, it came undone. There, off camera, I pegged it in. Whoop, he fell over. So now you want to close the toes, rotate the legs 180 degrees, and extend them, and then shift them inward, like that. Fold that down, bring this section up, rotate this panel up, and then bring this black section on the inside down. And then this will peg into the side here, and this will go over his head like that. And that's his little like head cage thing. And then this will fold in on a double hinge and just sort of sit in place. I'm just gonna do the same thing here. I've already rotated the leg. Then you bring this together like that, fold this down and around like so. And there you have the tank mode. Now notice something. It wobbles a lot. It's not actually, okay, that fell off. Come on. It doesn't sit flat. And this is not a problem with every single one, but apparently it is a problem with a few batches of this Megatron where he just would not sit straight. And like, this sits higher than this tread. Like, I've tried so many times to get this to stay flat and it does not. And apparently that was an issue with a bunch of them. So yeah, he does that. Anyways, tank. Tank mode though looks really cool. Like really cool. I very much wish he had the wings, but as a tank burger, it looks great. Everything sort of hides away nicely, and the arms, while they're just kind of hanging out there, they work with the details of the tank because it's just a messy, over-designed tank in general, in a good way. So the limbs just kind of blend well enough to not be visually annoying without being like super hidden away. He does have two cannons on the top that can move, with a central cannon that I could have sworn was a tiny bit bigger in the movie, but it works pretty well here. The front/top part doesn't really like to stay tabbed in on mine, and it does wobble on the treads like I said earlier, which again, your copy might have not had this, but a lot of them did apparently. But it looks cool with his face poking out. But yeah, I'm passing this off to my buddy because I want the battle damaged one It is a much more interesting deco to me and is closer to the premium finish that we got, because then I can put him next to my premium finish Optimus Prime and not have him feel out of place. But should you pick this up? I mean, if you can find it for a reasonable price, yeah. The battle damage one's a little bit easier to find from my experience, at least locally, because there were more of him produced than there were of the other one. I'd say max 40 US, maybe 50 if it's brand new. That's about as much as I would go for one of these. But that's my look at Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.